Welcome, friends, it's the MovieFilm Podcast. MovieFilm Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about the movies. MovieFilm Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to a movie film commentary track. My name is Zachy Hassan. I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going, Zachy?
I'm doing well. You know, just for the sake of the historical record, we are recording this on November 8th, 2020. And so it is the day after the presidential election. And we figure, hey, let's take in some post-apocalyptic escapism for this commentary track. It's kind of nice to just be able to look at the horrendous future situation and be like, hey, this is just some good, clean fun.
Yeah, this was some fun escapism, I have to admit.
We are watching Waterworld for this commentary, and I know at least, I'm going to say generously, at least half of the audience is like, huh?
Yeah. You know, because obviously when this came out, it was sort of much talked about. But I don't know if, you know, like it would be riffed on even on, say, like The Simpsons, or it would be some sort of like, you know, trivia question or something. But like now, does anyone show this to their kids, or has this lived on in any way? Like I have absolutely no idea.
Well, Brian, as long as Zachy Hassan lives... 90s action movies will always find a ready and willing venue.
Yeah.
Now this was when I suggested this for the commentary. I think even Brian was like, "What?" But it was truly one of those things where I was like, "I have not seen this since the 90s."
I only saw this for the first time, I would say maybe 6 years ago or 5 years ago.
Oh, really? So you didn't even see it when it came out?
I don't know. I was just thinking about it right now. I mean, I was always like a movie guy. I saw all the blockbusters and stuff. I don't know how I missed this, but a friend of mine and I one night were trying to find something to watch, and we were like, I don't think I've ever seen Waterworld. Both of us. And so we're like, well, let's do it. So that's literally the first time I saw it. So yeah, without the whole through a kid's eyes or anything like that, I just saw it as a grown up who knew it was supposedly this huge flop, which apparently it wasn't, by the way.
It was not. Yeah. So a little bit of a backstory before we dive into it. Waterworld was infamous at the time of its release, well leading up to its release, because of the exorbitant budget that it racked up, and we'll talk more as we get into it about why. But the stories surrounding the movie were all about the budget, which was at the time the most expensive movie ever made. Yeah, $175 million.
Yep.
Which, by the way, today, that's like the budget of a Jordan Peele horror movie. That's like, it's just a quaint little indie movie starring Lupita Nyong'o. Like, that's...
Right.
Now, you know, but back then, it was a big deal. And so every story was about this, and it was like, oh my gosh, the budget is just ridiculous. And
they called it Fish Tar, which I thought was quite clever.
Fish Tar, and also Kevin's Gate.
Yeah.
So slow golf clap for the bitchy media, really.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And so you ended up with a movie that was fine. That's my review of Waterworld.
Yeah, well, obviously we'll get into it, but I guess a little sneak preview. I had a pretty good time watching this.
Yeah,
it is a spectacle, and I think it's for people who enjoy being like, man, how'd they do that? You know, or this looks really, you know, elaborate and expensive and impressive. This is an impressive watch.
I
story
agree.
is whatever. We'll talk about that, but like this is definitely something to behold. I mean, it's impressive. They don't make movies like this anymore.
They really. That was my first thought. I was like, man, this is an artifact.
Yeah.
Of that era, and yeah, the movie ended, and the on this rewatch, I mean, and my thought was, well, I'm glad I suggested that. So.
Yeah, because that was my thought when I first saw it, like a couple of years ago. I was like, oh, well, that wasn't as bad as everyone says it is. And then this time, I didn't. It felt like homework. You know, I was watching it because I had to. But then when I watched, I mean, leading up to it. But then when I watched it, I was like, no, this is fun. This is a fun movie.
Well, I think we're gonna have a good conversation. So I say,
I think so too. Yeah.
Let's take a little break, and then we'll get into it. We will watch Waterworld. And we are back, and we are watching Waterworld. Now, worth pointing out, there are two versions of Waterworld.
Yeah.
There is the theatrical cut, which is about 2 hours and 15 minutes, and there's an extended director's cut, which is 3 hours long. Now, Brian and I do not like each other enough to talk for 3 hours. So we're going to stick with the theatrical cut.
Yeah. Our lawyers negotiated this. This is where we landed.
The pre-negotiated settlement we arrived at, so it's out of our hands.
Yeah.
So we've got it queued up. Now, there are two Universal logos. And we have it queued up to just before the first Universal logo, which is where the Universal logo is lighting up as the world comes into view. Right? That's the. Mm-hmm. So I'm ready. You ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Okay. So you can of course watch along with us, or you can just listen as we talk through 1995's Waterworld. Here we go. We will play on 3. 1, 2, 3. Play.
So this has really been the era of Universal logos for us.
We've staked out the what we're going to cover. Yeah.
Now, is this? I mean, this movie is from 1995, right?
Correct.
Okay, so, because I remember in front of Back to the Future, I thought I read that whatever logo they had ran to 97,
and that was the one we just saw.
Was
Back to the Future?
And then what
3.
was this?
This was the.
Because I remember both of these. One lighting up and one just sort of... Or is this a riff on the old one?
I mean, obviously, what we're seeing right now is meant to be... This is like part of the movie, what we're seeing.
Yeah, sort of lulling you in.
Right.
So Universal, it's where, you're spinning the globe and then the Universal letters come over the Earth. But then we see that the ice caps, we push in on the Earth, we realize it isn't the logo, we're starting the film, and the ice caps begin to dissolve and land is covered with water.
And
then what's his name? Is this Fontaine?
I was actually just looking that up.
Yeah, the iconic trailer narrator for...
It is Hal Douglas.
Okay. No disrespect to him. I mean, he's equally as iconic.
Yeah, it's one of those voices that everyone knows.
Yeah. So he's narrating... here.
So
a long time ago.
Now the opening sequence here, the original writer Peter Rader, he has said that this opening scene was what basically got Kevin Costner interested, and Kevin Reynolds, the director, in the script,
just
as a way of introducing the character.
Interesting. Is the peeing into the thing?
Yes, the peeing thing. So what we see here is a man urinating, as one does.
Yeah. Which, by the way, wait, watch. The camera goes up, pans up to his butt, then pans back down. And I was like, why did we have to go to his butt?
No, it's to show that he is in fact peeing.
I mean, I got it.
I think they wanted it to be extra clear in order for this, the cell here to work.
And I would say that Kevin Costner wants us to be extra clear as also before he takes a sip.
That's true. So, by the way, I'm watching this yesterday with my boys, and I put it on. I didn't tell them what it was. And so we're watching this scene, and then my boys see him pee, and my 9-year-old, at this point, he sees this, my 11-year-old, and he goes, "Why, Kevin Costner, why?"
Really?
Yes.
So he hasn't watched Bear Grylls yet, huh?
Exactly.
Remember that was like a whole meme for a while?
Yeah, like what awful thing will Bear Grylls eat?
Or it was like he's in some sort of mundane situation, like at the DMV, line is long, must drink own piss. Like that, the answer was always must drink own piss.
When in doubt, yeah.
So basically, what we saw was he's urinating into a cup. He is completely, there's no land in sight. He's on this little ramshackle vessel. Pees, puts it through some sort of homemade processing thing that he's constructed, and turns his pee into water.
To drinking water.
I was going to say drinkable water, but hopefully drinkable water.
Hopefully, right? Now here's the thing. As a way of showing like the desperate situation and sort of the means that people have contrived to stay alive, I think it works. Fair.
Yeah.
That said, and this is something my kids point out, they're like, well, we can filter salt water like right now and drink it, right?
But you know what? This guy was never in the Boy Scouts. We got to give him the... I read that this movie's supposed to take place in the year 2500 or something.
It's 300 years in the future.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
So it would be like 23, 24s, something like that.
Yeah. I'm sure he would have loved to have known that.
Yeah, right. There you go.
But this is fun. Watching at this point now where he's made that sort of hourglass out of the little, whatever, those like pebbles or something.
Beads,
and then the camera isn't cutting. I mean, we're like kind of following all of this stuff and these devices and Rube Goldberg-y, rusty looking sort of contraptions he's built. I mean, this is a movie that just looks like a lot of time and care was put into it, right? I mean,
I totally
conceived
agree.
of this stuff. They built this stuff.
I mean, at its origination, this was meant to be a low-budget Mad Max knockoff.
Yeah.
That was how this all started, and obviously, it ended up very far afield from that.
Yeah. Well, even before that, right, it was supposed to be a family film. It was going to be like this kids movie, and then when the original writer showed it to a producer, he was like, if you turn this into a Mad Max ripoff, we can sell this. And so that's what he did.
Yeah, it was the story started with a guy named Peter Rader, who, yeah, exactly. I mean, the idea was like something that Roger Corman could do. Mm-hmm, and so he comes up, and Roger, for those of you who don't know, Roger Corman is a very famous, low-budget sort of schlock filmmaker. Mm-hmm. And so Corman's like, what are you, nuts? This thing's going to cost $3 million. You think we have that kind of money? Like,
right.
Which is hilarious, given what it ended up as. But of course, the core premise where, okay, Mad Max is set in the desert. How about we do that, but set in the water? I mean, as a something that a studio would be interested in, makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Right. And I didn't even remember the Mad Maxiness of it until the smokers show up later, and all their sort of weird face masks and outfits, and I was sort of shocked, like, oh my gosh, like this is so obviously a ripoff of Mad Max. But then when I was reading up about it further, and they're like, oh yeah, no, that's what we were trying to do.
Yeah, I think everything we've established, like in the first sequence here, from the beginning up through this action sequence, it actually does a really good job of setting the world up for us. First of all, we the opening scene is just us seeing, the Trimaran, Kevin Costner's ship, all the various contraptions that keep it going. And then this conversation he has with this dude here, and sort of like, we trade on the seas, nothing's for free. Like it establishes the rules of the world. Yep. And then here, when we get the smokers, we say, okay, these are the antagonists. And I think very efficient,
I agree. And there's sort of a distrust. So we know that, this isn't like people aren't, they're sort of loners, right? I mean, yeah. This isn't a place where people sort of rely on the kindness of others. So this whole exchange between them is a little tense. And then you see that he stole his limes, which I was really mad when I saw that. But then there's this, danger teetering at all times, that you have to be aware of, these smokers. So I agree. Just very efficient.
Kevin Reynolds, who directed this, and we previously did a commentary for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And during that track, as I recall, you and I are both like, man, Kevin Reynolds, how about this guy? Like, and
I thought it again watching this. I was like, this guy. This,
and I'm like, how does this guy not work more? Like, he hasn't stopped working. Yeah. But it's weird how he's not really talked about. And I was consistently impressed with his shot choices.
Oh, man. I mean, and the way that he captures action. Yeah. It's very impressive, and you feel the scale and scope of all of it. And I mean, he's a great director, and I actually had that thought while I was watching it, and it's just, it's all the strength of your script, really. I mean, if the script had been a little bit more something.
See, look at this shot right there, where we start in real close on Costner, and then it pulls out.
Yeah. Oh, there were so many times I thought, if they had a drone. They would have probably saved hundreds of thousands of dollars in headaches, but they did it anyway.
They did it.
You know, there's a shot later when anyway, we'll get to that. But
Kevin Costner, this is like we talked before about Robin Hood, even maybe perhaps more than Robin Hood. This arrived during the midst of peak Costner. Mm-hmm. Arguably, this is what caused. The opposite and inverse of peak Costner was perhaps this.
I was just going to ask you about that. So, you have like Field of Dreams and Bull Durham and what else?
If we were to map out where peak Costner begins and ends, I would say we go from 1990 with Dances with Wolves to 1995 with Waterworld.
Yeah, and then it was just. Sadly, it kind of became, Kevin Costner, like Waterworld, The Postman. Yeah. Or Tin Cup, which I have not seen, but I don't remember feeling like I had to see it.
Yes. It is good,
whereas if that had come out in, say, before this, you might have been more likely to...
Real quick, actually, just what we saw there, where he basically just leaves that guy to be killed by the smokers. I like that, too, as a piece of character texture for the Mariner.
Agreed. I didn't remember that he was so cold.
Right. Like, he is kind of an asshole, and it is not a typical Kevin Costner character.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
Or what you would imagine for a hero. Typically, he would do something to get the guy back, and maybe he would take something from him, whether that means hurting him or whatever, but he would never not save the cat, so to speak.
Right.
In some sort of... in most blockbusters. But yeah, I was shocked at how cruel he is for a lot of this movie.
It's so much so that I think when he has a slightly more of a face turn, like it feels a little abrupt, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not so much that it took me out of the movie, but that was my thought.
Yeah.
But Kevin Costner signing on board was really what got this movie made. Even though Kevin Reynolds was involved before Kevin Costner.
Oh.
And the producers went to him, and he signed on under the condition that they would not approach Kevin Costner to star.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because they were friends. They worked together on Fandango. So really, Kevin Reynolds gave Costner his start, really, because that was like his first big movie.
Can you remind me? I saw that, and I do not recall that movie at all, not even the title. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's about this service where you can find out movie show times. No, it's like kind of a coming of age thing. It's like we talked about it before, right? It was like it was based on a student film that Kevin Reynolds made. Steven Spielberg saw it. And he kicked in the money to get like the feature version of it made.
Wow, man, there was an era where Spielberg was definitely keeping his eye on up and coming filmmakers and brought a lot of people in.
Yeah,
some for better, some for worse.
So right, exactly. Ratner. Brett Ratner wasn't Brett Ratner one? Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, so they made Robin Hood together, and they famously fell out during Robin Hood.
Right.
The movie went on to become a huge hit. So Kevin Reynolds was like, no, absolutely not, no Kevin Costner, and then the screen flips, Oh, I hate being on set with Kevin Costner. It was like that.
Yeah. Right.
So they basically, like, the producer put them in a room together and was like, you guys hash it out. And so they worked it out, and then they had another falling out during the making of this movie.
Yeah, did you see that quote from Reynolds?
Yeah, he said something like, from now on, he should just direct his own movies. That way he can work with his favorite actor and his favorite director.
Yeah.
Right? Which is some rare...
I know.
Because, Kevin Reynolds quit. Kevin Reynolds quit before the film was finished.
Wow.
In terms of post.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
It was so many people, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people and thousands of dollars. For you to walk away from that in the middle of it must have been something. What? What could make someone do that? Just abandon all of that?
Well, photography was done.
Oh, I thought you meant during the middle of production.
During the middle of post-production.
Post-production?
Yeah.
I see.
He did his... he submitted his director's cut, which was close to 3 hours.
Right.
And the studio was like, well, that's not happening, obviously. And Kevin Costner is one of the producers, and he's Kevin effing Costner.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically recut the movie. And what's interesting to me is that for all of these guys, Magnificent Bickerson's relationship that they have,
yeah,
they do tend to create good work, and they are both cognizant of that because they have since worked together again.
Right, I saw that
on the Hatfields and McCoys, which is like them basically.
Yeah,
it should be the
honestly,
the costumes,
I was aware of that show's existence, but knowing that it involves these two makes me interested, actually.
Right.
Like you said, they make good stuff together.
They tend to, right? So whatever friggin' issues they have, they at least seem to acknowledge that it's working, whatever it is. And by the way, Kevin Costner now is he speaks with fondness about this experience and making this movie.
Yeah, I read an oral history, and it seems like everybody, even Jeannie Triplehorn and Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
He was like, he was talking about how he thought it was unfairly maligned and thinks it's a fun movie, and yeah.
I mean, and I remember this because I lived through it. Virtually the entirety of the critiques were, how can they spend this much on a movie, right? This movie freaking sucks. And I've said this to you on the regular show. Unless that money is either coming out of or going into my wallet, I don't care.
Right.
The only question is, do you see it on screen?
Yeah.
And in this film, I think, Brian, it's undeniable. The money is on screen.
Yeah.
This actor, by the way, that is Gerard Murphy. He's the judge in Batman Begins.
Ah. Yeah.
Where Batman has leverage.
Yeah, I remember that. And then, what's her
Tina
name?
Majorino. She was...
Majorino, yeah.
She was like 90s movie kid, wasn't she?
Yeah, and then I think of her, of course, from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but then I wasn't sure if she was one of those kids that sort of left acting, but absolutely not. She's been working
constantly,
quite a bit. I mean, she True Blood, Grey's Anatomy, Veronica Mars,
never stopped,
all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Never stopped.
Yeah, and Jeannie Triplehorn too. I mean, she was what I know her best from recently. It was a show called Big Love. You ever see that with Bill Paxton? Right. And for me, I mean, I remember her in more from the 90s, like Basic Instinct and The Firm, and Mickey Blue Eyes,
kind of stuff. Mickey Blue Eyes, yeah.
Hugh Grant,
yeah, but same. She's never stopped.
So this movie came out. This was the summer of '95, which was quite the year for really big blockbusters. I mean, '95 was a very memorable year. Mm-hmm. Because you had Apollo 13 and Batman Forever and Braveheart, and I mean it was packed.
Yeah.
And this came out at the tail end of that.
Yeah.
And I believe it was August, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was like July 28th, so very close to August. So I think that ended up working in the movie's favor because it only did okay domestically, but it did very well internationally.
Mm-hmm.
And so
which absolutely makes sense. I mean, if you recommend this movie at all, it's for the visuals. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And in fact, I mean, this whole sequence, I mean, this atoll that they're on, I mean, this was a set that they built on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Which, Brian, that is insane.
Yes. Yeah.
Because a lot of this stuff you could have done in a, like a
tank,
a studio tank, and you would have been fine.
Yeah. Apparently Reynolds went to Spielberg to ask for advice about shooting on the water, of course, because Spielberg's shooting Jaws, and Spielberg was like, "Yeah, my advice is don't
do it."
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about that, right? Because Spielberg has famously said, like, not just to Kevin Reynolds, he says it to anyone who'll listen. He says it to random people on the street. I wish I had not shot Jaws on the water because I was going insane, right?
Yeah, and then they're like, your coffee's ready, Mr. Spielberg.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I'll shout it to the rooftops.
The problem is, though, Brian, is that Jaws' success works against that message.
I know, right?
Right? Because of the fact that Jaws turned out so great.
Mm-hmm.
Unquestionably one of the greatest movies of all time. So people are like, well, he says this, but look how good it turned out.
And I mean, to be fair, I think at least 8 times out of 10 you can tell when it's in a tank.
Yes.
You know, because they have to mock the sky, right? Because otherwise you'd just be seeing studio parking lot.
Right.
So it's something feels off. It does go a long way. But I read about this. They didn't even have bathrooms built near this set. So they had to ferry, actors in clumps.
Yep.
To go for bathroom breaks, which is just, what were you thinking?
That's like, how do you forget that key portion of all this?
Yeah. Yeah. And what was the other thing I read? It was, they used 1,000 tons of steel. It was all of the steel available in Hawaii is what they used to build this thing. And it wasn't enough. So they had to ship more steel in from California.
You just picture in Hawaii on a construction site, sorry kids, we don't have enough material for the children's hospital. Oh,
no, right. Right. And you know what? I think goes to what you were saying earlier, where if we weren't thinking about all that, because that was the first joke we go to, thinking about what they couldn't do with that steel,
right?
In that state. But like, if we didn't have the sort of hubris of what we're hearing from Kevin Costner, or not even hubris, ego, I suppose, and just all the resources, and it just seems excessive. If we just showed up and watched this, yeah, it probably would paint a different feeling for us. Back then, I mean, now I don't. We talk often about how when we were like film geeks when we were kids, mm-hmm.
and so we were plugged in. We followed a lot of this stuff, and I'm sure
we were reading Starlog, which was the
right.
film blog of before there were film blogs.
Totally right, and so you and I already had an awareness of, oh, this is the most expensive movie of all time, right? But
right.
that was a conversation that transcended the film geek. Like that was in the cultural air,
Yeah, yeah.
And that to me is what makes it kind of interesting. It's just how I feel like this is the first time that became part of the they spent so much money on it, and it's like, well,
mm-hmm.
who cares? I mean, yes. You do care, but you don't. We don't care anymore.
No. I mean, I still am sometimes blown away when I hear the budget of a
yes.
blockbuster these days. I'm like, oh, right, that's where we are now. I've kind of forgotten. I still think of 100 million, 150. And now, I mean, it's 200 or past.
The budgets have skyrocketed so high that you lose all perspective. I mean, I remember when Rambo 3 was the most expensive movie ever made.
And
that was like 80 million.
Right.
And then T2, and then this.
That's the one I remember first being aware of.
T2?
Yeah.
I think right now, the record for most expensive movie has got to be one of the Avatars or something, right? No, I'm wrong.
Yeah,
sorry. I just looked it up. Pirates of the Caribbean, what's on Stranger Tides? Was that the...
Now that you say it, I do remember that. And I think it was in the 300.
Yep, $376 million.
Whoa. How does a movie almost cost $400 million?
That makes no sense to me because...
No.
I don't...
I believe it. I'm just saying that someone didn't do...
Yeah.
Someone should have figured out how to bring that cost down.
I'm just pulling this up now. Number 2 is Avengers Endgame, $350 million. Number 3 is Avengers.
You have a million A-list actors in it.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Pirates of the Caribbean, man, these Pirates movies are expensive.
Wow.
Justice League, by the way, cost $300 million. So womp womp.
Wow. But you know what the thing is? In 95 or whatever, these movies weren't making $1 billion.
Right.
Right. So I
That's
mean,
a good
you
point.
sort of consider the inflation.
By the
angle.
way, the number 6 most expensive movie of all time, Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Well,
They had to shoot
I guess
that
that makes
twice.
sense, right? Yeah. Which, by the way, so this movie suffered a lot of weather, mishaps, and a hurricane destroyed, or at least severely damaged this huge atoll set, right? So they had to build it twice.
Yep.
So that was a major contributor to.
That's
spending.
the thing. I just kind of going back to what we were saying before, right? On the one hand, you say, well, if you're budget conscious, just shoot it in a tank, shoot it in, do rear projection.
At least this set, I should say. You know what I mean?
Certainly
It's
for
not
this,
all
yeah.
of it. You can, the action you can shoot in the water, but this set, there's just no need for it to be a floating.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks, for all intents and purposes, like the Universal Stunt Show.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up during the first action set piece. That's beautiful, by the way. The sun there.
That shot.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Beautiful shot.
But this, right here, like, why does this need to be on the water? Just
Right.
these guys walking, yeah.
There are so many shots on the ocean that are absolutely magnificent. When we were
Yeah.
texting about this earlier, I was like, this is like an exploitation movie that looks like Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, that's a good, that should be a little soundbite for this film in its favor.
Right?
But yeah, I think I watched this yesterday, and I'm reminded now of what I was thinking here. I was like, oh, he is Mad Max.
Right.
Right? Just kind of wandering in and out of scenarios that he, wants little to do with. And
It's interesting because I was thinking about that before we got on because to some extent I was appreciating the fact that it does a pretty good job of just like it tells a story and it's like a one and done, right? Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, you say, well, Universal had to have hoped that it was going to be more than a one and done.
yeah.
And then you say, well, is there more story to tell after this? And on the one hand, I was like, well, geez, I mean, you kind of did it. Like, what does more of this look like? Mm-hmm. Probably. Just
I was thinking that during the ending, though.
right.
Where I was a little surprised that he didn't stay, and I was like, oh, well, you can make a sequel.
Yeah.
He has to come back for some reason, or more adventure on the water.
I mean,
This stuff is just like,
it's amazing.
the staging of all this, the capturing all of this, thinking that they didn't have drones, all these extras, all this machinery. I mean, this is just. So we're looking at the smokers, the bad guys. This shot was the one yesterday. I was like, wow, cool.
It's impressive.
Yeah, some helicopter pulling backwards, capturing like 15 jet skis.
There are a
flying
lot
toward
of those
this-
helicopter shots, by the way, that are amazing.
Yeah. And you know what I love about that too is, we complain about it so much, and this did start in the 90s. This isn't a new thing, but just the quick cutting and the shaky camera, and it's so close to the action so you can't actually see what's going on. And I'm sure they're trying to capture some sort of visceral feeling for you, but it's much more impressive to be like, wow, like behold the scope of what's actually going on.
Yeah. I
This whole sequence. Yeah, oh, sorry, good.
No, I do. Just to the point that you're making, as originally conceived, the movie was going to be sort of more comic booky, for lack of like cartoonish,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they made a decision to make it a little grittier, and to make it grittier, and feel like it exists or it could exist in a reality.
Yeah, like we just saw that sort of ferry boat sort of thing, and instead of rudders or whatever you call those things, they have these tires,
Right.
And with chains. I mean, it's so much work and thought. I mean, it does. It feels like, okay, this is all conceivable, that thing could work.
And we were talking earlier about, like, why not shoot on a tank? And then you look at these exterior shots with these boats on the ocean, and you're like, well, that's why you shoot on the ocean.
Yeah.
Because it looks
well,
amazing.
this for sure.
Yeah.
This looks incredible. And this guy, by the way, when I saw this like pig nose looking guy with the mask, I was like, oh, they're not even trying to not have Mad Max illusions. Like,
You know what's funny though is I think if you were to compare it with Mad Max, I think it suffers in terms of the villain, because I think the Deacon, played by Dennis Hopper, and you tell me what you think. I feel like he's too much a Dennis Hopper, and it makes me take the villain less seriously.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't mind, but I didn't mind because that's a take. But I wouldn't have minded if he had been built out a little bit more than he is, because he just sort of appears like Dennis Hopper shot 7 days worth of stuff and they let him hopper it up, and then like I think if the villain had a little bit more to do and was involved in a little bit few more things. Oh yeah, I just want to call this out. So you see these guys on jet skis being pulled by a plane. I feel so many different things. One, I feel like it's just kind of inherently corny. And now they're going towards this ramp on jet skis, and I'm like, well, this just feels like they had a stunt show in mind, and they had to make a movie to support it.
Right. Totally.
On the other hand, that's awesome.
I mean, it takes some effort,
I mean, that looks dangerous.
Well, I mean, it tells you something that a quarter century later, the Waterworld stunt show remains one of Universal Studios' most popular attractions.
Yeah, have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
Okay, it's cool. I mean, it's just it is so perfectly, this movie is so perfectly suited for it. Obviously, I mean, I feel like we're watching a stunt show at this point, but like, you got these guys on jet skis going off of ramps and fireball explosions, but it is funny because they have the Dennis Hopper villain in there, and he's saying all these sorts of key things from this movie, and it just occurs to you that I think the show wants you to go, oh, I know that guy. That's the Hopper villain, and then at the end,
like Darth Vader or something.
Yeah, and then the theme song kicks in triumphantly when the hero wins, and they want you to think dun da 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 dun da da. They want you to have that reaction to the music, but you're like, I don't know this.
That's really funny.
But it's still there,
Yeah, and I mean, Jean Triplehorn talked about how she saw it with her son, who was like 13, I think, at the time, and like his friends know the movie they only know of it because of the stunt show.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's like it would be the equivalent of how Pirates of the Caribbean is based on a theme park ride.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like watching this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, it's the movie. That's they got it from that theme park ride.
Yep. For a generation, absolutely.
Now, I have to say, this entire action sequence on the atoll is, first of all, it's really well done, well executed. We've talked about it, but I actually think it does almost too good a job, because it's almost more impressive than the third act action sequence.
That's so funny. I had a similar feeling, thinking like, oh, that's it for the climax.
Yeah.
However, it's really impressive.
Yes.
But you're right. I think you're right. This is so many moving parts.
Yeah, there's like
so
more
impressive
happening.
Yeah. Which, by the way, so this guy, I had forgotten. This guy just sort of floats away. I was like, that's random. It's like, and then I'd kind of forgotten that they really need that device at the end. It's
the plant. You're just waiting.
Yeah.
You set it up, and then. So what the stuff that Costner, that the Mariner is stuck in, like, what is that exactly?
I don't know. That's gross, because they'd put that dead body in it.
Yeah,
earlier,
so is it something
obviously
that dissolves bodies or something?
I mean, once he's out of there, he needs to wash his hands. Oh, by the way, so the guy in the plane, or maybe it's the plane later, but
Jack Black.
One of the pilots is Jack Black. Yeah,
we'll see him. It's I believe it's later, like when the plane attacks his boat.
I don't even know that I connected it yesterday. But okay, so I just want to point out we're 30 minutes in. And if anyone is thinking of watching this movie, if they're not watching it right now, like I say, like watching this felt a little bit like an assignment, something I had to do to prepare for this. But when we got to this sequence, I was like, damn, I'm like really enjoying this. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to be impressed by a movie, I mean, I honestly, during this action stuff, thought this is more impressive than anything in an action movie I've probably seen.
I mean, that right
recently.
there, where you see him jump out of the water.
Yeah.
this is a cool shot, you know?
It looks good.
Where you see him swimming under like a fish, you know?
I don't know how they did it, but it looked good.
Now, what's interesting is the mariner is a mutation. He has gills.
A muto.
A muto, right.
Yeah.
That was not in the original script. That was a Kevin Reynolds innovation. And the original writer wasn't thrilled about it, but it's kind of like, you know, you sort of cede control once you hand it off.
Sure.
And I think from an evolutionary perspective, I'm not sure it even makes sense.
I was thinking the same thing. I don't quite understand it, and we don't ever see any other.
Right. I mean, at the very bare minimum, it would take substantially more than 300 years for something like that to happen.
Right.
But then again, just to be very clear, the entire premise that this movie is built on is shaky at best, which is the idea that there is enough water in the polar ice caps to make...
Right.
Like, I mean, you know, not even to the point where, like, the buildings are peeking up over the water. I mean, this is like you have to deep dive.
Yeah.
To see skyscraper. It's like, well, there isn't enough anything to make that work.
Right. But you know what? When you, like, say it to me, I'm like, all right. You know, like, I can roll with it.
That is, I mean, it's like, that's like the buy that you have to make.
Yeah.
There's at the very end of the film, they end up on you know, the only dry land on the planet, and what the deleted scenes shows that is actually supposed to be Mount Everest.
Right. Which that's clever.
It is clever, but that is totally one of those
yeah.
things where you start doing the math a little bit, and you're like,
yeah, yes. No, well, that and that the landscape looks nothing like Mount Everest.
Right. We talk all the time. We're such grumpy grandpas about like practical effects, right?
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, I was telling my wife yesterday watching that. I was like, man, it's just everything. There's like a physicality to everything that we're seeing.
Yeah, watching the two actors, they just leaped over those gates that were opening. That if they didn't, you know, once they open certain amount, they can't make the leap. And I could tell that they weren't green screened in. I mean, I just saw two stunt people do that, and that was like, you know, like, yeah, it's, and then it pans down and a jet ski runs into the gate and blows up. I mean, yeah, you can tell this was expensive and took a lot of work, and it's captured in such a way that you can take it all in and appreciate it. And there's just something so satisfying about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like super curious actually for people who've never seen this to watch it and write in and tell us if they did enjoy it.
I think it's one of those things where because my reaction yesterday was basically on par with my reaction, you know, 25 years ago, which was, it was fun, you know. Mm-hmm. I certainly didn't come away feeling like I'd unlocked, you know, the secret to the universe or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But it you know, you get what you put into it, which is, you know, the cost of your ticket or whatever, you know.
Right.
And my kids who I watched it with, they were fully engaged, and my wife actually this morning was like, "Man, I really enjoyed that yesterday." So I was like, "Well,
I was even not dreading, but I was like, I gotta watch Waterworld again, you know, in like 24-hour period." But I'm kind of enjoying taking it in now. It's just a lot to look at.
Being able to watch on mute really offers you, again, like what I said earlier, like you can't say the money's not on screen. Mm-hmm. It's not like Kevin Costner's salary was $150 million and then they used $25 million to make the rest of it. Mm-hmm. It's like it's all there. Kevin Costner, by the way, I mean, in term we mentioned, I mean, it's hard for people to understand perhaps now what a huge star he was during this period.
Yeah, because they probably know him best as Superman's dad now.
Right. You know.
So you're like, oh yeah, like he's a good kind of older character actor, and it's like, no. Yeah, he was a superstar.
He really was. Like now, you know, he stars on that TV show, which is quite good, by the way.
Wait, which one? McCoy?
Yellowstone, it's called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he plays like this head of like this patriarch of like a ranching family.
Okay.
You know, so kind of like a modern, darker Dallas type thing where he's like the head of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a good role for him. But that's my point is like that's what we tend to think of with Kevin Costner is these sort of patrician roles. And so, first of all, he was like a global star, and that was why the producers wanted him in this movie. But even then, this was something of a departure for him because he has not done very many just straight ahead action movies.
Yeah, yeah. There's always sort of a folksy charm to his character. Even in Robin Hood, he feels like a, Iowan,
right,
folksy good guy versus, some sort of British rogue in the woods.
I mean, even him playing Robin Hood, which we talked about, that was a result of him being such a big star.
Now, I've never seen The Postman. Is that sort of that's also like a dystopian sort of...
It is, yeah.
Right,
but that's a strange one, man. It's funny you mentioned that because I literally, just before we got on, I happened to put on the trailer for that, and my wife was like, what do you think of that? And I was like, I can't defend it because I think it's deeply flawed.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of the same thing where I feel like the negative reputation has gotten so out of hand when it comes to that movie that you just have like a movie that's like fine. It is way too long because it's 178 minutes. Which is
wow.
That's insane.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Now,
there's no universe where that movie should have been 3 hours long, but I don't think it's as bad as its reputation.
Did Kevin Costner direct that?
He directed it, yeah.
Huh. That actually makes me wonder too then. So he decided, okay, well then I'll just work with myself.
Yeah.
But then it was also the movie that he couldn't trim down, the one that he made.
Right.
Right.
And what we know, I mean, of the movies he's directed, right? Dances with Wolves, A Postman. What's another one he directed? I'm trying to draw him. Oh, Open Range. Open Range he did.
Oh, wow. Was that the one we almost saw together? I remember we were going to go see a Wyatt Earp or Open Range or something.
The day before my wedding, we were going to go see Open Range.
Yeah.
And we weren't able to, unfortunately. But they're both, I mean, they've got a lot of breathing room, those movies.
Yeah. Which I don't always mind.
No, but it's tricky, right? Because I think, I just looked it up on IMDb. Those are the only movies he's directed, those three. Open Range is very good. I would recommend it.
Okay.
But it's, in terms of its length, it is... I don't see a runtime. Oh, here it is. 2 hours and 19 minutes.
Okay.
So that's practically a TV movie when it comes to Kevin Costner movie runtime.
Right. Well, Dances with Wolves. I mean,
Dances with Wolves. Yeah, I mean, there's a director's cut of that.
Right.
You know,
which I love that movie. That's a good movie.
It's amazing. I think I just revisited it a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And you win an Oscar off of your directing debut. Obviously, you're going to be at a point where you're like, well, my shit doesn't stink. Right? And I think there are very few directors who truly deserve to have final edit.
Yeah.
Which I guess might be a controversial thing to say. I don't know. But...
Well, some people just have those instincts, and some people need to be, pushed.
Yeah.
And like fight for things, and then if it's worth it, right? I think the screenwriting advice is just as applicable in directing, right? You have to be willing to kill your babies. Exactly. I mean, I was actually, without even realizing it, thinking of writing.
Yeah.
But you look at the Netflix movies now where they don't get as much pushback, and they're like, filmmaker, make film.
Right.
And those movies do feel too long, right? And they feel a little more indulgent, and I think discipline isn't always a bad thing.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of interesting to me about this movie because the Kevin Reynolds director's cut is substantially longer.
Which, by the way, if I had not watched this movie twice in 24 hours, I would be tempted to check that out sooner rather than later. Because I clearly am realizing I'm a Kevin Reynolds fan.
Yeah.
And I want to know what his take was on this. You know, what... I don't know. Would it feel bloated, or would it feel like a more realized movie, or I don't know.
I have not seen it, but I'm like you. I'm curious to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You mean a couple of years?
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, it's 3 hours seems like a long time.
Yeah. By the way, see that computer chip around his neck?
Oh, how I didn't focus in on that.
Isn't that kind of funny? He found that obviously on sunken land and then made like a necklace out of it. Thought that was kind of cool detail.
I just thought it was like a shell or something, but yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So watching yesterday, I had to like skip past that part.
Right.
We just saw.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, the triple horn and the girl are now taking passage on Costner's ship, and he doesn't want them there, so she's trying to. Oh, he wanted to throw the girl off, right? Or he wants to kill. He's like, I got to kill one of you.
Yeah, he's like,
because
better
we'll never
to let
survive
her die now.
And so Triple Horn's character is like offering her body to him, trying to spare the girl, and yeah. So are your kids like,
Yeah, I just had to skip past like all of this basically.
Yeah.
I mean, as a moment of insight into, well, both characters. I mean, it's interesting in that the mariner is considering it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's not like just cover up. That would be
yes, which you think you would have in a mainstream movie, the actor or the character do, yeah,
right. But the fact that he reaches out and he's kind of like it's going through his mind,
Yeah, and I felt bad for her. I mean, she obviously doesn't want to do this, and she's put in sort of this humiliating situation and degrading, and it's just the movie plays a little bit for comedy here with her trying to cover up and
yeah.
I wondered too, by the way, just because he's got those gills behind his ears, if some of his necklaces and stuff were meant to cover it up so they didn't have to put the appliance on every day.
Oh, possibly. Although one would presume.
When he drops the thing on her and then he like whacks her with the oar. I assumed that was meant for laughs, but I was like, you dick.
Well, there's that, and then like later there's the scene where with the hair.
Yeah, that's really brutal.
It's like
cruel. It's not even. Yeah.
It's really like as a character choice. You can see Kevin Costner. I'm postulating here, but I'm sure this shot actually real quick. Look at this when it just pulls out. Look at that.
Yeah.
So that is Kevin Costner on the mast. We got this helicopter. We pull out all the way. We see this beautiful water. I mean, that's gorgeous. No low budget Mad Max ripoff,
No.
That is a beautiful shot that we just saw.
Yeah. Look, they're in the middle of nowhere.
and I mean, right? Like this is something Spielberg talked about, right? Like you're in the water. If even one boat enters the frame,
yep,
you're screwed because you just got to wait.
You couldn't paint it out.
Yeah.
Now you can paint all that stuff out.
That is so this is like a Terry Gilliam movie or something where we have.
That's really good. Yeah, right? You're right.
I mean, the whole sequence, the characters, everything. It's very. In a way, Brian, it reminds me of what we talked about with Robin Hood, where the stuff with the sheriff felt like a different movie. Oh,
wow. Good call.
Right?
I wonder if that was something Reynolds took from that and was like, well, that works.
Yeah.
What's interesting, too, is that this is so like the steampunk guy here.
Right.
I mean, they're not even trying to distance themselves from like Mad Max. But, with like the derby and his sort of glasses. Right. I have so many things I want to say. We'll get back to this, but Joss Whedon did a pass on this. I'm just throwing that out there so we can get back to that.
Yeah.
But then, I guess a lot of Nuke the Whales, of course, made me think of Nelson Muntz. Bumper sticker. But also, I read that a lot of stuff that was cut had to do with all the fuel that they have and why they have so many cigarettes, which I actually was wondering. Like, cigarettes is like a character trait for these people. And I wasn't quite sure what it was supposed to mean or where they even got all of them. And apparently that is addressed.
But they just cut it out.
Yeah. So it was kind of... And here he is throwing out cigarettes to people as if it's
See, this is the
food or
thing.
rations or
The
something.
deacon is
Yeah.
meant to be kind of this, like a cult leader.
Yeah.
And I don't think Hopper found like the right frequency to convey that. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do, yes.
Like again, using the Mad Max parallel, right? You got the Humongous in the Road Warrior. You got Auntie Entity in the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. You got Immortan Joe in Fury Road.
Yeah.
Right? And you believe that there's a sort of a cult of personality surrounding them. Whereas this feels like it's Dennis Hopper doing like a slightly lighter version of his Speed character.
Mm-hmm.
Or like it's Koopa, from Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
You're totally right. It is.
Like he's very funny. He's got some really funny lines.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem intimidating to me. I think that's
He's a little bumbling.
Yeah, right.
I like that, by the way, where he hurls the match toward all the fuel, and then his guys have to catch it. I mean, I like that. Like that, he's kind of nuts.
Yes.
That's good. You're right, though. I don't believe that he's super intimidating necessarily, unless he's pointing a gun at someone.
And apparently, I mean, his casting happened fairly late in the process. They'd actually offered the role to Sam Jackson.
Yeah, I saw that, but he went with Die Hard instead.
Yeah, so he obviously made the right choice.
Yeah.
At least in terms of his career. And just to be clear, I'm not saying Dennis Hopper is not bad in this movie. I don't think he is. I think he brings that Dennis Hopper energy.
Right.
I think the film does the character a little bit of a disservice because I think the concept behind the character, I don't really see it on screen, which is the idea that he's kind of a messianic figure to these people.
Yeah. Even if we do see him address a crowd later.
Yes.
But even if we saw how everyone views him and what they think about him, and then we see him behind the scenes that he's not that guy at all. He's actually desperate because he's got to keep the facade up.
Right.
Just somehow building that out more would have gone a long way, I think.
The idea that he is promising dry land, and then that's why he needs the girl so badly.
Yeah.
So because he can't keep these people on the hook for too much longer.
Right. I thought this was cute. How she's like drawing all over the.
And he keeps having to erase it.
Yeah.
This is like my daughter and her crayons all over my carpet.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, constantly.
So, by the way, speaking of the director's cut, I thought this was kind of interesting. Apparently, there was a fan edit that was going around because they showed this. They built it out on television.
That's right.
Right? So they added all the stuff back in. And so some fan incorporated that footage and whatever was on the DVD or whatever and made a version. And then when they put out some sort of Ultimate Edition, they actually used this guy's fan edit.
That's correct. Yeah, like last year.
And went back in. Yeah, I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. Right? That's not the director's cut, right?
Yeah, so essentially, the director's cut is shorter than the ABC TV version. Which I believe aired over 2 nights.
Okay. It could, right? It could be
right.
2 hours each night.
So yeah, they essentially arrived at sort of like a middle version.
But people obviously, probably most famously, make all sorts of fan edits for Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of criticize it for like, look, man, like let the filmmaker tell his story, tell his art. And so it's just interesting that the company was like, well, this guy had a pretty good idea.
Right.
Chuck 27, Waterworld 88, ZZZ,
It's interesting because that's a very post-internet phenomenon.
Yeah.
The ability to do that. I remember when I was in film school, and I'm sure you did something similar, you would have classes where your assignment is like, here's the rushes for this scene.
Yes.
And cut it together, and then you make the choices about what to include and what not to.
Yep.
And
I had to cut a scene from St. Elsewhere.
Oh, St. Elsewhere? That's funny. I did...
Yeah, what did you have to do?
Law and Order.
Oh, funny.
Law and Order, yeah. And, yeah, I mean, it's fun because you really... You see I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches, where you have so many things to pull from, and as an editor, you can be very creative.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, I mean, when we talked about Darkman a couple weeks ago, right? Like, what's so crucial is that the editor really needs to be in sync with what the director is trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yet sometimes there's the oppositional force of the studio being like, no, fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't want you to be in sync with what the director's doing,
Right. I thought this was an interesting choice, by the way. We are past it now, but where he threw the girl into the water and just as she's saying, I can't swim, he's sitting in a chair, like checking his nails.
Yep.
I was like, wow, that's not what I expected from the hero of this movie.
So the guy, that's Jack Black right there.
Oh, funny. I
love that when he hits her on the head, it cracks me up.
When she waves at the pilot.
He's like, smack, what are you doing?
Yeah.
My kids are like, that's what you do.
Getting ahead of it a little bit, but when they shoot the harpoon at the guy and it kills the gunner and like locks the plane, it's so violent and brutal, but I was like, that reminds me of like movies I used to watch.
Right?
Like, it's kind of gross, but it kind of like fits whatever this is. Does that make sense? I know it's a really abstract thought.
There was a very sort of Spielberg-y energy around it.
Yeah. I think I don't even... Yeah, you're totally right. Like Indiana Jones, those movies are very violent.
They are.
But there's some sort of... I don't know. Something. I don't know. There's something to it. I'm having trouble putting words together with it. But I read that... There was an article I read that it really opened my eyes to it. I'd never thought about it. But they were saying that Spielberg and James Cameron have a lot of horror energy in their family films or in their adventure films or sci-fi films, and they don't go over the line, but they do just enough to make you go ooh, like really have it land
Wow.
and make an impact on you. I was like, I just never thought of that, but it's true. You're right, that is so Spielberg-y. It's kind of intense, but it sort of doesn't go too far into being gross.
Right.
This is an awesome stunt, by the way.
The whole sequence is actually really well done.
Now you got the harpoon attached to the ship that just hooked itself to this plane, and now it's flying like a tether ball. Yeah, circling.
They've done such a good job establishing all of the internal and external geography.
Yes,
you can follow everything that's going on.
Yeah, and it looks, as far as I can tell, it looks like they're really doing this.
Yep.
Right, like having this plane attached to this boat, circling it, destroying the boat, and also drawing the plane in.
And I mean,
it's going to crash at some point.
You've got sort of the ticking clock of the plane winding around the sails.
Yeah. It's really it's kind of like Empire Strikes Back, right? With the harpoon on the Luke ship.
So this is all Jack Black right here. And I mean, he kind of jokes about it. He's like, yeah, that's what's going to go on my tombstone, pilot from Waterworld, But who'd have thought?
Well, at this point, right?
Who'd have thunk when this movie came out that guy would be one of the most recognizable faces in the world? Like 10 years
I was just going to say, at this point, they don't play up his Jack Blackiness because I don't know that we had that yet.
No.
Yeah. This is so fun to look at.
That shot where he falls into the water. I mean, that's a great shot.
Yeah. It looks really dangerous and impressive.
That's the other thing, by the way, is Costner clearly does a ton of his own stunts in this.
Yeah, I was shocked at the end when he's on that zip line.
Yep.
Clearly you see his face. You see his face there. And wall of fire behind him. It's
an amazing shot. And earlier in the film, you have the thing where it's on the atoll where he cuts the wire and you see him fling himself up into the air.
Yes. Yeah.
That's him. Like I wound it back. I was like, that's him doing that,
Yeah. Because now you can do the digital face replacement.
Yep. So this right here, where he's cutting off her hair.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be obviously like an exertion of masculine authority or whatever. But it is slightly disturbing, right?
Yeah, I found it unpleasant.
Now that said,
Yeah.
I have to be honest and say, like, when we cut to her with the little girl and she's got the short hair,
Yeah.
I did kind of bust out laughing. So,
Yeah, right.
like, I mean, that is pretty.
Well, look at her face. It's so cute.
What's funny is Tina Majorino, like, looks exactly like that now.
Yeah. Oh,
With the
she's
short
so recognizable. Oh, I just meant like her face. I mean, she looks. You would see her on the street and know this was her.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that about her hair, though.
I was saying earlier about Kevin Costner and the choices he made with this character. I think this was, he was known as like the nice guy next door. That was his persona,
Yes.
sort of corny, And so I think he was trying to push back a little bit and play a character with some coarser edges. And that allows for, I think, a more sort of, a layered character. And I weigh that against, you have somebody like Dwayne Johnson, for example, who, like, he talks about, he's like, I'm known for playing this kind of, like, this is what audiences expect from me, so I'm going to give them what they expect. And that's not a knock on Dwayne Johnson, but I do find it interesting that I think Kevin Costner felt sort of boxed in by the popular perception of the kind of characters he played. So the opportunity to be kind of more of an asshole was appealing.
Yeah. I understand that. You hear that a lot with comedians, right?
That's right.
And Jim Carrey types and whatnot, and then they always want to make their dark movie. Just kind of push themselves.
Yeah, Jim Carrey, Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Right, and there's always that you bump up against, well, that's not what audiences want.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jim Carrey really, and this might have been the same year, right? No, it was a couple years later, but Cable Guy.
Yeah. Oh, it was close to this, right?
It was 97, Cable Guy.
Okay.
And that was, I mean, kind of the same thing, right? I don't love the Cable Guy, but Jim Carrey got paid $20 million for it.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. And that caught a lot of flack for that.
People were like, "What the hell, Jim Carrey? Why are you accepting all that money for your services?"
Well, and then it turned out to be a movie that should have been almost like an independent film, appreciated by some.
Yeah,
but Jim Carrey was a person for the masses at the time, and so I think a lot of people were turned off.
Brian, it would have been like Robin Williams getting $20 million for 1 hour photo.
Yes.
Right, and the movie did not match what was then the Jim Carrey persona.
Right.
Right.
This whole scene now with this guy. Yesterday I was thinking, do we even need it?
Yeah.
And then I realized there's a few things that get accomplished by it, but it goes on for far too long.
It
for its amount of importance. I'm kind of, I don't know if you could have whittled it or if you.
I mean, obviously that you're trying to convey that it's a dangerous world, especially for women.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the movie has already done that.
Yeah, but also, I mean, it's a sort of turn for him a little bit, like
right.
that he's willing to give her up to this guy. You're like, what the hell's wrong with you? And then he goes down there, but it's just it's a long walk,
So, I mean, what would you do to maybe trim the fat a little bit?
I would either have kind of... I mean, this guy's doing a really good job. Maybe that's part of it, too. They're sort of impressed with, like, this is how unhinged a lot of people who've been on the water too long are. That's interesting. But I probably just would have cut this in half and gotten to the meat of it. He wants the woman. And Costner's compelled by paper. And then she goes down there, and then he comes and stops it. And, has a moment where we push in on his face and realizes what he's done, and then he goes down there and stops it, and then it becomes violent, and then it's over. But I just yesterday I was just feeling the length of this for some reason.
Yeah, I agree with you. No, it's tough because part of me is also like, I mean, this is a PG-13 movie. It's ostensibly a family movie, so when you like make prostitution a key element and prostitution
is, you could also argue that
Like he is
the person
prostituting
is choosing
her.
to do that in exchange for money. You know what I mean? But this woman is having no say.
Yeah,
in
more
what's
accurately,
the transaction here.
He is prostituting her.
Yes.
Like, oh, here, you do this for me
Yeah.
because I want
Yeah.
this thing.
Right. Now, I know I literally just watched this, but does the paper ever pay off? I can't remember.
It does in a fashion, right? Because he's looking at. Yeah, you know what? It does in a way, but only obliquely.
Right.
This actor,
I
by
don't
the way,
know.
is very, very familiar.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I don't know. Yeah, if I were like doing a polish on this, I would make that paper much more important.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, why is he willing to go through all of this? I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I mean, the idea obviously is like, well, in Waterworld, something as simple as paper is like,
Yeah.
More valuable than anything else.
Or, and then it's kind of the Chekhov's gun thing. I'm stretching for that. But, like if you're going to spend so much time on it, it feels like it should have some sort of payoff.
So this actor,
But
his name is Kim Coates.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Kim Coates, and he's been in like everything. I mean, this is he's one of those. He's a stereotypical. Hey, that guy.
Oh, okay. What else? Just a couple of them.
Things he's been. He was most recently that I saw him in Fantasy Island.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I that's exactly I remember him from that. But he's in Assault on Precinct 13. He's in Open Range with Kevin Costner.
Ah.
He's in Pearl Harbor, Black Hawk Down, Battlefield Earth.
Okay.
Unforgettable and Unstoppable. So he's got the franchise covered. Quite a Last Boy Scout. It's a lot of stuff. He's one of those guys, yeah.
He's one of those guys who would be fun on a podcast. Like, I was there too.
Yeah, right?
He's got a million stories. In some ways, this almost reminds me, I'm getting the vibe, watching it with the sound off, but with the War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise having to kill Tim Robbins.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good call. Yeah. And you just saw that recently, didn't you? War of the Worlds.
Yeah. I mean, that said, Costner created this situation here, unlike in that film.
Yeah. But I mean, as a turn for his character, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Doing what he's got to do to protect his people. That scene is dark, by the way.
Yeah.
War of the Worlds. I mean, I remembered it, but when I rewatched it, I was like, wow, Spielberg was really like, yeah, I'm going to do this now. See,
I need to rewatch that. Because, in fact, I've been meaning to ever since you told me you watched it. I was like, I should check it out again.
It's good. It's very sketch-like. It's like a patchwork of stories kind of knitted together.
Yeah.
But it's impressive.
Like,
my better
recollection is that scene, the Tim Robbins scene, was where it kind of lost me.
That whole, as soon as they go to that farm, the movie just stops in its tracks. But you can fight through it, and it carries on. But yeah, this was a good sort of twist here.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, right. Kevin Costner isn't dead, but him coming up with the villain coming up with the bloody knife and then turning and you reveal that he's got a hole in his back.
Right. I like that. Yeah.
So, by the way, just a couple other things I had written down that I think were working against this movie was seeing that apparently even during production here, where people might not have been too happy with him, was Kevin Costner was staying on an oceanfront villa with a chef and a butler, and it cost $4,500 a night, whereas crew members had to stay in uninsulated condominiums. So I'm sure that hearing stories like that. Oh, and then the other sort of famous one was that Costner had them digitally revise his hairline.
I heard about that, yeah.
Which, by the way, I was sort of paying attention to that, knowing that, and I never noticed it. Like, I mean, I guess digital work was ahead of its time back then, at least for hair.
Yeah, his hair is thin enough that the fact that it's wet all the time sort of draws attention to encroaching baldness.
See, but here it looks thicker. So was this altered, or is he wearing some sort of extra thing, or I don't know.
So in Robin Hood, he's got the long hair. Is that a piece?
I remember being pretty thick in Robin Hood. I wonder if he was maybe wearing something.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it looks fine. Like
Yeah.
So we were talking about digital. Like this upcoming shot right here is the only time they really meaningfully use CGI in the movie,
which really made me jump back in my chair. Like, what the heck was that thing?
Yeah, it suddenly becomes like a Hercules: The Legendary Journeys for like a
yes,
right.
Which, by the way, I didn't realize what he was doing, but I kind of like it that he's using himself as bait to catch this sea monster.
Yeah,
it's clever.
See, but the thing with that is suddenly you're like, oh, there are sea monsters on this world.
Yeah.
Like that feels like, and then we just never refer to that concept again.
Right.
Like you talk about Chekhov's gun, that should be something that you bring into play in Act 3, right?
Yep.
Because it's like, okay, well, that's just a thing. Anyway, here, how's your food?
Yeah. And if they are out on the open sea the whole time, I mean, yeah, you'd worry about being capsized by something like that. Or
like, obviously, okay, so this is a world where you've got, like, mutated fish people, so that, the boundaries of the world encompass that. But even still, you think, like, oh, what, like, how does that... How sci-fi is this world?
Mm-hmm. I would like to learn that those were just children's goldfish that once released out of their bowls were allowed to grow to full size. Told you what happened if
you flush them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really funny.
So real quick, so I guess let's talk about Joss Whedon. I didn't realize that he worked 7 weeks on this movie apparently during production. He
was like on set, wasn't he?
Yeah, apparently he was brought in. He was supposed to be on for a week, and then he said it was 7 weeks of hell. And apparently the hardest part for him was there were ideas that Kevin Costner wouldn't budge on. So it was him trying to punch up the movie and do whatever he could, but he had to work around these immovable ideas that Costner had. And then, later there's like a lot more puns and stuff. And he even said, he's like, yeah, I was paid to make a bunch of fish puns. And but he does not speak of it favorably.
I think that makes sense that his probably biggest impact was on the Dennis Hopper stuff.
Hopper.
Right.
Yeah. Which, by the way, and he was a script doctor on Speed. So he is, he's given Hopper a lot of funny lines.
Yeah. So that suddenly you start connecting those dots a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I thought what Whedon said was interesting. He said I was there basically taking notes from Costner, who's very nice, fine to work with, but he's not a writer.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it interesting that he's still stepping gingerly. Like he's not like, oh, what an asshole that guy was, Yeah,
that's a good point. And well, maybe that's it. I mean, maybe he isn't a bad guy, right? I mean, you don't have to be a jerk, but you can be passionate, right, about what you're making. And when you have, filmmaking's a team sport. And when everyone's passionate about different ideas, that can create friction.
See, and Brian, this is interesting to me because I mentioned before, like, the character is not, traditionally likable, right? Mm-hmm. He is coarse. And so you can't be like, oh, Costner only cares about his ego. And that's why he's got his fingers in the pie and stuff. I mean, one presumes he did have a drive towards making it the best movie it could be.
Right.
Notwithstanding, you mentioned like staying at the hotel and things like that. I was thinking about that. I was like I can see the crew possibly getting upset about that, but is that something they should be upset about?
I know. I mean, I think there's always going to be, you're going to be, whoever's got more than you in some sort of work situation, there's going to be a little dissent.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, I don't know, when you're a huge star, they give you that stuff. Your agent asks for that stuff.
That's what I'm saying. You're the star of the picture. You're a producer.
Yeah.
And so you'd think, like, why would he be like, oh yeah, let me sleep like in the barracks with everybody?
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean?
And some people might though. Some actors might because they know it would create camaraderie and.
Here's the way I look at it, and I sound like I'm like Kevin Costner's defense attorney.
No. I get what you're saying, though.
But yeah, I'm like, look, all Kevin Costner owes is don't be an asshole when you're on the set.
Yep.
And
do your best job.
Do your work. You know.
Yep.
And by all accounts, Joss Whedon just said it. He's a nice guy.
Right.
So I mean that's it, right?
Yeah. No, I absolutely think you're right. But I can imagine still. I mean, people...
It's like if you're like, one of the crew members, are you going to be like Kevin Costner staying at the Four Seasons? Who do you think you are? You know, like.
Right. So is this the turn you were talking about, where he's nice all of a sudden? Look at her face; like, she's so cute.
It's a great shot. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I haven't mentioned this at all, probably because we're watching on mute. The music score in this movie is beautiful.
Yeah. James Newton Howard.
I listen to this soundtrack all the time.
Oh, wow.
I put it on when I write. And I haven't seen the movie itself in forever, so it was crazy to like watch it and put scenes to the music that I just know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is among his very best scores he's ever done.
Yeah, and I mean, that's saying something.
It really is,
Yeah. I definitely, when I was listening to it, there were sort of musical phrases I recognized. Mm. So I was like, "Ooh, I know this guy. Who is this?"
Right.
And then, James Newton Howard. I mean, he does Shyamalan's movies, which are just fantastic scores. I almost miss that he's not doing Shyamalan stuff anymore, because he brought out great stuff out of him.
Yeah, Sixth Sense and Unbreakable are both amazing. Oh,
so
Signs also.
Signs is so good, yeah.
But this right here, obviously him teaching her to swim is going to end up being important. But what is it that prompts that?
Was it that picture he was looking at? Oh, well, maybe the paper did pay off.
Okay.
Where she drew them as a family.
Oh, okay. He's like, I've been kind of an asshole.
I think they could have maybe even gone a step further for his turn, because this is a guy who just threw a child off a ship to drown,
right.
Like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But I get it. I wonder if that was annoying now that I'm looking at Jeannie Triplehorn, where she's like, okay, got to be on this boat and wear these rags. This kind of sucks, but that's okay. But then they're like, well, we're going to cut your hair, and now you got to wear an uncomfortable wig for the rest of the movie. She's like, are you freaking kidding me?
Jeanne Tripplehorn, by the way, is married to an actor named Leland Orser, who is, you may not recognize his name. I guarantee you Google him, you'll be like, oh, that guy. He's another one of those, that guy.
That makes me think like Langdon Alger.
It is like one of those names, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I knew he was anyway, but I just happened to, because of my ER rewatch, he's like a major supporting character for like the last, 5-6 years of that show.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, good for him. He married up,
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I'm reminded this is when you were asking me if I'd watched Waterworld yet. Yesterday, This was the scene I filmed when I sent you that video. Oh. I was like, why does this look familiar? Oh, yeah. This is what I videoed for Zeki. I thought this was kind of cool. The underwater periscope thing, and he sees those guys waiting. I mean, this is just so cool production designy, right? Where they're hidden under the water, but they have these things connected to them, these little tubes that are going up so they can breathe, and just inventive.
Yeah. I like the world of his boat, the Trimaran, his ship, where it's got all these little gadgets and doodads. It's almost like his own little Batmobile. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm just kind of going through some of the stuff I'd written down that I'd read. But going back to Kevin Costner a little bit in his defense, apparently he personally invested $22 million of his own money into this. In what respect?
I don't know. I just have that fact, but I wonder if that has to do with taking out of a paycheck, of turning over profits. I don't know, but that's a lot of money to... Can you imagine? Okay, I'm willing to invest $22 million that could be mine for the sake of my art.
I mean,
it's a nice spot to be in.
The thing is, because like I said, he speaks about it with he's not. It's not like Josh Brolin talking about Jonah Hex or something.
Yeah.
Like 25 years later, he has no reason to be kind to the movie. He's like, no, people like it, and I think the reason for that is because that effort, the money, and everything that went into it. I mean, it paid off. You can see it on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and you can critique the movie for being generic or predictable or whatever. And I think those are absolutely valid critiques.
Yeah.
But what you can't say is that this thing got hacked to pieces by the studio and it's just this mutant monster of a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm appreciating this moment on screen here now where he's having them all go to the side of his boat and he's hanging off of it so he can lift it up to avoid a net that they've set for him.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a movie about boats on water, you got to think of as many ways to creatively take advantage of that, right?
That's true.
I was like, that's good.
Unlike Mad Max, where you can vary the topography.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To
So how many things can we do with this boat? Have him lift one side and avoid a thing, and run to the other side and lean off of it and lift the other side.
Like there are 4 Mad Max films, and to their credit, each one of them is visually distinct from each other.
Yeah.
Whereas again, going back to what I was saying earlier, I think that's sort of where you get boxed in a little bit with Waterworld as a premise. It's like, all right, well, in the next one, it's still Waterworld. There's still water in the world.
That's true. So going back, can you tell I'm going through my document looking at facts? But apparently, I think we had made reference that this was known, or is known probably still, as a flop, but it did make its money back.
Yeah.
And I guess took the cost to make it and produce it and market it was $235 million, which, back then, that's $100 million for Terminator 2 was like, wow.
Yeah.
But it grossed $264 million. So not a wide margin of profit, but it was a profit. And then, of course, you got home video and all those sorts of things, licensing. So it was profitable.
Yeah, that's again, when we talk about the cultural conversation around flops and hits, I feel like that really became a thing in the 90s. Because, granted, we didn't have the awareness in the 80s of that, but the idea of like, oh, this movie costs so much, it sucks. Or this movie is a flop. That informed... Like, again, I'm just using my wife as an example. She's like, oh, I thought everybody hated it.
Right.
And I was like, well, no. the reviews are like right down the middle, and it just cost a lot. Who cares? She's like, oh, it was a big flop, wasn't it? I was like, well, no. And I'm like having to explain it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that now. I just Googled it because I was wondering, but I guess Variety has been reporting box office since 1922. But I don't remember that being... It seemed like you either had to dig for it, maybe in the 80s, or, that was something if you were really into niche sort of aspects of entertainment, you would do that. But now it's, front headline stuff, the box office every weekend. And like my dad will be like, oh, did you see that movie you enjoyed this weekend made this amount of money at the box office? Like everybody's kind of aware of it.
Yeah.
Who might not necessarily even dig in for entertainment news.
It's, the last 6 months of quarantine time have been weird for me, where I have basically just stopped paying attention to the box office. Whereas that was just part of my life.
That was part of like my Sunday was just checking out the box office for the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to the 90s. Just that's just what I do,
Yeah, like JoeBlow.com or something like that. That was one of the first blogs I remember reading, and they'd every Sunday have the box office on there, and it was just part of my routine.
So this sequence here,
visually
really great. Almost kind of Planet of the Apes-esque,
Yeah.
When he descends into the city, which, again, and I hate being that guy, but there is nowhere near enough water in the ice caps to make this. It does not work in even a little bit of sense.
Yeah. I was wondering what he was doing with these flares too. Is this supposed to be like illuminating the city so she can see it? I mean, obviously for us as the movie viewer, they have the whole thing.
It would have to be for
viewable.
her.
Yeah.
Because for him, or maybe for him, to see.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously that deep, it's going to be black as pitch. You're not going to see anything.
Right.
So,
but because it's a movie, they're like, well, the audience has got to see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Maybe if they had more ability, they would have, using computers, done it in such a way where it is pitch black, but then the flares start to reveal.
To reveal it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's...
I mean, this is pretty great. It's a nice model.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is obviously rear projection.
Yeah.
Or front projection.
Yeah, this is a good scene. I like this scene.
So basically, it's like, hey, well, if there's no dry land, where are you getting all your crayons and shit? And it's like, he just goes down to the sunken Target store.
That's about it. Yeah.
Right?
I read apparently the Pepsi can. Somehow they figured out how to get
product placement,
some cross promotion. Yeah. I think I read that the city was based on Colorado somewhere. I don't remember which city.
It's meant to be Colorado. Okay. So then that gives us a frame of reference for if we end up at Mount Everest at the end.
Oh, good call.
Right?
Yeah. That's funny. I didn't even...
So that's a ski lift right there, right?
Oh, you're totally right. Yeah. Wow. I didn't even think about it yesterday. I think I was just looking at them, like thinking about the effect shot.
That's like haunting, isn't it? That ski lift for some reason.
Yeah.
It's just something about that. I don't know. There's this book that I was going to say I read, but I listened to it. It's called The World Without Us. And basically it's just a scientific extrapolation of like if all of humanity just blinked out of existence tomorrow, what would happen to everything?
Mm-hmm.
And sort of just laying out the process by which the Earth reclaims everything, And it's a fascinating listen, but again, it's haunting,
Yeah.
When you lay out just how quickly whatever mark we left would just vanish.
Right. Be consumed. Yeah. Taken back, like you said.
As if we were never here to begin with. It makes you, it puts you in mind of just how insignificant we are in the big picture.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's more about Waterworld.
Yeah. That's where, like, we both just start staring out windows. Yeah.
We're like Tarantino in that one meme where he's just like wandering around the empty house.
Yes. Yeah. That's so good. What was I gonna say? But the Mad Max thing came back to me because they have like grease all over their faces, so it's like fuel is still even for them like a commodity, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they do like commodity. It's not like they trade it, but.
Well, and that's why these guys are called smokers, right? More than the cigarettes, the idea is that they're the only ones using like diesel. So,
dude, I feel like a friggin' idiot. I did not even put together that they are called the smokers and they're smoking all the time. Anyway, but yes, it could have multiple meanings, and that's what I'm going to go with because it's going to make me feel better about myself. Yeah, I was actually thinking about the smoke that was coming out of the back of their. That's
like the in-world reason why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because anybody out in the world, you'll see the smoke from a mile away.
Right, smokers. Right? Yeah.
So and they're the bad. So that would be an easy way to signal people. Oh, the smokers are coming. They're the bad guys.
Right. But I am super curious about this choice with the cigarettes. I wonder what that was all about.
I mean, it seems like something that Kevin Reynolds probably would have. Kevin Reynolds was he wanted it to be like a commentary on environmentalism, right? Like it's an eco fable, I think he called it.
Yeah.
And so, what better shorthand than and these are the bad guys, and we know that because they're just smoking all the time, like pieces of shit,
Yeah, I can see that. I can see where just visually, they're greasy, they smoke, kind of like the pollutants.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know, kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Oh wow! It just as they turn her upside down, the little girl, that's reminding me that was sort of the twist of the movie. The map, they were looking at it wrong; it was upside down, and now they're actually looking at it correctly on accident, and they don't realize it.
And they don't even know.
Yeah.
So Roger Ebert was not kind to this movie.
Really, I read a snippet where he seemed a little. Did he say like, "I'm not unhappy I watched it, but I can't recommend it"?
Which is such a.
But did you read the whole thing? Was he a little harsher about it?
Yeah, I mean, he gave it 2.5 stars.
Yeah.
And I mean, he summed it up this way. He says, "I'll remember some of the sights in Waterworld for a long time, but I won't necessarily want to see them again." Which, I mean, I guess it's all about how you choose to interpret that. But,
yeah.
That was kind of me, like, watching. I was like, well, hey, I had fun. Like, I'm not in a hurry to rewatch it. Granted, that's what I'm doing right now. But, like, I don't see myself in the near future being like, let's put on Waterworld, boys.
Yeah.
But, like, say, a couple of years from now, I could see watching it if it's on TV,
Yeah, this is sort of, like I said, I'd only seen it once before this, but this is sort of cemented where if this is on TV, I'd probably stop on it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
By the way, so that scene where the girl's being kidnapped and they have to sort of hide because they're being shot at. And so she can't breathe underwater, and he's like, "I'll breathe for you."
Yeah.
And so they kind of share this kiss underwater, and he's giving her oxygen. For some reason, as I was watching it yesterday, it made me feel weird that they were down there kissing while this girl's being dragged away. Mm-hmm. I almost wish they had kept the bullets coming around them.
Well, the fact that
you can't go up, you have to be down here, is all I'm saying. Like,
right, and it becomes like a romantic moment.
Yes.
Which, like, I mean, it is, obviously, I get it, but I think, I totally agree, because I had that exact same reaction.
Yeah,
because they come
I
up
need
and
to
it's
know
like,
that
right.
they have no choice.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's funny.
Like, I almost think it would have been better to, like, she's unconscious or something, and he's trying to keep her alive.
Right, underwater. Yeah, CPR underwater or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's hilarious how she just, like, annoys the shit out of everybody in the It's really funny.
That's so true. Yeah. I don't know why that line made me laugh. Like, you want a cigarette? You're never too young to start.
It all feels like very Whedon-y, doesn't he? Doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
You know what's funny though, Brian, is like at this point, Joss Whedon was not, all caps Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
To the world at large, and yet, in fact, now that I think about it, my first awareness of him may very well have come from this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I remember reading an interview with him around this time this movie came out. And about the fact that he'd been a script doctor on it and whatever. And I only mention this because I remember that when Buffy the Vampire Slayer became a series, I was like, oh, Joss Whedon, okay. Like, I had that reaction.
Oh,
as opposed to who's this guy,
Right.
So that's, I don't know. That's just, like, I'm sparking some long subsumed memory there.
Yeah, I think for me it might have been Buffy.
Okay.
And
yeah,
then,
I mean, that was obviously, I think, where the majority of the world became aware of him. But I definitely knew who he was before Buffy.
Right.
So
and he did X-Men, right? Like a punch-up on X-Men?
Yeah,
what year was that?
That was 2000.
Was that post-Buffy?
That was post-Buffy.
Okay.
Because Buffy started, by the way, in 97.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Okay.
She's like,
I was going to say, when we got to this point in the movie,
Kevin Costner?
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Just the look on it. She's like, "Shall we have sex now?" Kevin Costner.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's what I was just about to get to. I was going to say it was reminding me of Natalie Portman in Attack of the Clones and how they just keep trying to find ways to have her in less clothing. Where it's like, oh, a monster. Oh no, a monster ripped off half her shirt. Kind of a thing. And then when I was watching this, I actually watched it over. I started it yesterday and I had to finish it this morning. And so when we cut to that shot of her, I was like, wait, where did her clothes go? Like, they keep somehow, piece by piece, falling away.
By the end, it's just like a fur bikini. Like,
right, yeah. But yeah, I mean, going back to what we were just talking about, this feels like, I don't know, maybe you should figure out how to make your boat go.
Yeah,
like,
the relationship doesn't make sense to me except as just well, that's what we do in these movies.
Yeah, they have to like consummate at some point. And so this is the moment where we have some free time.
Yeah.
I mean, I like his line, where she was like, why didn't you take me in that moment? He's like, well, I could tell you didn't want me to. I mean, that's good. That's a good character moment.
Yeah.
So then you could understand then how her perception of him would, I don't know. But it just feels, do we need that? Like, it just feels kind of, let's go. Let's hurry.
We got shit to do here.
We got a child to save.
She might be addicted to cigarettes by the time we get there.
Right. That actually would be hilarious. If they're like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, no, totally fine. Let's get out of here. And then she just lights a cigarette. Like she's picked up one little trait from them, her time with them.
As I'm watching this, Brian, I'm realizing I would not be happy on Waterworld.
No.
It's not a place I'd want to live. I've decided that during the course of our conversation.
I think it's comfortable to say I agree with you. I'm getting ahead of it. It's funny at the end when they do find land and he's like, it just feels weird here. And they're like, oh yeah, it's called land
sickness, right?
Which made me realize, like, oh yeah, they're like, their whole lives are just bobbing up and down. That'd be so weird.
It's just the ground moving under your feet constantly. It would drive me insane.
Yeah.
I'm not a water person in general. I don't like going out on boats and things like that.
Yeah, I do actually like being on boats, but I'm not a huge swimmer. Like, I've learned how to swim enough that I can swim, but I'm not a super strong swimmer. So I'm not a guy that is always feeling this desire to just jump in the ocean or anything.
I'm not a Kevin Costner carrying me on his back swimmer yet.
Right. Like, I mean, I like getting my feet wet. I love the ocean. I like going to the beach, and I love standing in the water and having waves kind of crash on me a little bit. But, like, I'm not like a, let's see how far I can go kind of guy.
It's, like, for me... you know how much I really liked All Is Lost, that Robert Redford movie.
Oh, that was great, yeah.
Right, but that like sums up my absolute mortification. Like my immediately visualizing the worst case scenario is just you're stuck in the middle of the water, and just that's it, man. You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy, when I was watching this, I was imagining, I wish they had added a sound of the to this boat just to make it even more sillier. It's oh, hello. It's just so funny. This guy shows up in this like Mr. Fantabulous zip zoop
he is like a Disney character, isn't he?
Yeah. There's like chitty chitty bang bang.
Yeah.
And then I think it goes to this wide shot at some point. I just thought it'd be hilarious. I think maybe it's at the end when he comes to the rescue again. I just wanted to hear just to add to the...
That actor, by the way, that is Michael Jeter. Who? Yeah,
I knew I recognized him. I had to look him up.
He passed away. I want to say like 2003, something like that.
Oh, okay.
He's in the Green Mile. Have you seen the Green Mile?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like the guy with the mouse.
Yeah. Who's that guy on the right, by the way? He looks familiar.
Like the marshal or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the guy who was like running the
I wouldn't be surprised to learn he was in Prince of Thieves or something, and I just recognize his face. Or
the guy With the
With
beard.
the beard. Yeah.
He looks familiar to me, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look that up. See, suddenly now everyone's like, psh, whatever, screw the girl. And Costner's like, no, we got to get her.
Right.
Like, that turn struck me again as, like, obviously you get it, but it struck me as a little abrupt.
Yeah. And it's interesting, too, I guess, the tattoo on her back. Like you said, I don't think it's revealed, right? But they end up at Mount Everest. But that is... The lettering on her back are the exact coordinates of Mount Everest.
I actually didn't know that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
See, but the backstory confuses me, and I don't think they explain it. Because Helen found her in the basket.
Right.
But, like, why? How did that happen?
Where did she come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how does she end up in the basket?
Yeah, that's a good... I didn't even think about it. It just looks like a guy who's probably in a lot of... He's probably in Braveheart. He had to be. Just look at that face. I'm willing to bet he was in Braveheart. That's a cool shot.
Let's see. It was not in Braveheart.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brian. You lose this round. But
I think everyone who watched Braveheart lost this round because he would have been perfect. We got to point this out, by the way. Joe Hazelwood.
So that's the captain of the Exxon Valdez. This is where we find out that their ship is the Exxon Valdez. And that is a joke that has absolutely no currency past, like, 2000 if you're being generous.
Yeah. So, but they look to him like, oh, Saint Joe.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, he crashed the oil tanker, as you said, the Exxon Valdez, which was a huge, for people who don't know, humongous oil spill, and it was an enormous news story, and it caused a lot of damage just to the environment and to animals, and it was a disaster. So it just makes you wonder when it was so recent. What was that? No, it was 1989 when that happened.
Yep. And
this comes out in 1995. I mean, can you imagine being that guy?
That's
just
funny.
like, now I'm in Waterworld as someone that the villains worship in the future.
Like forever. That's it.
Yeah,
that's what he's known as. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
it's silly, but it's kind of clever, right? I mean, they're on the Exxon Valdez.
It's a good gag.
Maybe at the time it might have been a little eye rolly or something, but like as someone who remembers it as something a little bit in the past, I'm like, that's where they got all the oil. That's where it kind of makes sense.
No, I think it absolutely works.
Yeah,
as just a gag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked up Joe Hazelwood on Wikipedia just now, Brian.
Yeah.
In 2009, Hazelwood offered a heartfelt apology to the people of Alaska, but suggested he had been wrongly blamed for the disaster.
I'd be curious to read more about it, because I don't know how it happened. That does not sound like a heartfelt
apology, Brian, is all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, 20 years later. Right.
Hey, guys, I just want to apologize for that whole thing. It was a bad time for everybody.
Yeah.
That's my Joe Hazelwood impression.
Yeah.
I'm going to add that to my repertoire.
Right. And mine's gonna be more like Daffy Duck, like it was a disaster, but I apologize.
I like yours better, actually.
Why not?
See,
we
this
can have
right
our
here.
own
Okay,
impersonations of.
So this scene,
yes,
he's their religious leader. He's throwing them spam, and they're fighting.
It reminds me of like Captain Hook in Hook.
Yes.
You know, all these underlings on a boat running up to him, and he's speaking from this balcony. Yeah, sorry to step out. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, no, but this is my point. Like, I think it's funny, but I think it shouldn't be funny.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah,
because he's up there, he's like making jokes, and I don't know, you know.
You're totally right. I agree. He should be someone when he has a public face, and we should see that face crack.
Yeah,
in front of his people, maybe thanks to Costner intervening here.
Yes.
That might have... Yeah. That is funny, though, because now that I'm thinking of Hook, I mean, it's sort of similar, right? Where he is this villain, but he is a little insecure and kind of wisecracky. Maybe that's a very 90s thing.
We wanted our villains to have feet of clay.
Yeah.
This, I talked earlier about the idea of this is a movie that is just, chain linked to this era. And what I mean by that is I feel like the 90s was perhaps the only time where a studio would be willing to go full high-class budget for what is not a pre-sold story, Mm-hmm. The idea of like science fiction being given all the trimmings, but it's not something that is, a franchise title or something.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, Waterworld is the last gasp of being able to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you think
with this
about
much resource being given to it, yeah.
Yeah, because it was, and not to say this wasn't meant to be a franchise, but it was. I mean, there was toys and there was a whole thing, but it wasn't a sequel. It was just, hey, we're gonna really give what is kind of an exploitation story. We're gonna really give it a spit and polish. Arguably,
yeah, and
yeah, go ahead.
No. Well, I was gonna no. You first.
Just, I mean, the fact that it only did okay and it was sort of overcome by the budget talk is what led to studios no longer being willing to invest in stuff like this anymore.
Yep. I did have a similar sort of thought where, man, the 90s might have been the last decade where, yeah, a movie like this, original idea, like Independence Day even, Yep. I mean, we all know it now, and then they tried to make a sequel all these years later, but that was just original. And now it's kind of sad. I was going to say, I love the Spider-Man movies, but it is funny when you think about, well, they had the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and they're like, okay, do it again. They're like, all right, Andrew Garfield. No, it didn't work either. Again, But it's like they just keep taking the same things that they know work and going with that, whereas, yeah, it was just filled with all these original ideas that are classics now.
And even if they're not classics, they're, like, I'm just thinking, like, just before this, like a year before this, you had Stargate, which I don't think is a great movie, but I mean, they threw some money behind that.
Yes, yeah.
You had a year after this was Dragonheart, which is, I don't think it's particularly good, but again, it was a big budget thing.
Mm-hmm.
Independence Day, like you said, the Matrix arguably is like kind of the last time.
Yeah, yeah. And here we are waiting for our next Matrix sequel because no one's going to find the next Matrix. They just got to go with the thing that worked. But the 90s allowed the Matrix to exist. I mean, it's kind of, we're talking about the Matrix. Another in the vein of the Matrix is Dark City. Yeah.
Which is a movie I absolutely adore.
Yeah.
And you look at that, and I just happened to rewatch it not that long ago. You just would not see that today.
No,
with that
not on
scale.
the scale. Like it'd be like a Netflix movie or something.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, they and that movie. I mean, they took a bath on it, so there's a reason we didn't see that anymore. But
sure.
But I mean, the
but
willingness.
Sometimes they land.
To kind of swing for the fences. I appreciated that.
Yeah. I wish we'd get more of this stuff, but you don't have to spend all this money on it, But I want it all. I want the franchise stuff. I want the original stuff. I want the dramas. Won't you give the dramas to me?
Yeah, right. It's I think these days the conversation becomes more about if you have something really exceptional made for a very low budget.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so your Get Out and your
Yep.
Quiet Place.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, they didn't spend anything, but big budget. Who gives a shit?
You know what? That's you're restoring my hope a little bit. The Get Out and A Quiet Place did become these sort of phenomenons, and they were original. And I mean, I know they were low budget, but they didn't feel like they were lacking. I mean, they got to do what they wanted to do, and yeah.
Now, all of this was like a set, I think.
Okay. That feels like that could be some sort of, not a pier, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, something you could dress and
I mean, it looks like it's composited for some of those shots.
yeah, from his balcony it looked like
definitely.
Especially.
I remember reading like among one of these scenes, they're getting things set up, and then there's like a delay, and one of the extras goes up to Costner and asks for an autograph, and at that point he's just like, ugh. Like, you have to politely say no,
Yeah.
And just reading about how like basically he like looks over at just like all the other extras,
Right.
and he's like, if it's good, it would set a really bad precedent. Like like suddenly your afternoon is done.
Yeah. Oh man, ballsy.
That's how I was thinking that. I was like, you would think that's something they tell extras, like, don't do this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think about it now too, where now that we have cameras, on our phones.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I started working on some sets, like I had this really crappy like Nokia or whatever, so I do have a couple pictures. I worked on this movie where they built a whole sort of wing of a casino, and it was amazing. And I just lament that I didn't have this high quality camera to take a couple pictures, but I had these incredible like 8-bit looking, or 16-bit looking pictures because that's all.
So that was just my luck. Lucky you.
Lucky you.
Which is one?
Yeah.
The Eric Bana one, right?
Yep. Robert
Okay.
Duvall.
Just My Luck that's the Lindsay Lohan movie.
Lindsay Lohan one.
You didn't work on that though.
I tied to it in some ways.
Okay.
Justin Bartha auditioned for that.
Okay.
And I had to drive him to his audition.
He auditioned
and I introduced him to the band Muse. I have a lot of memories of just me and Justin Bartha in my car.
So did he audition for the Chris Pine role?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Chris Pine, right? Who knew?
I know. And she was not very nice to him on that film.
I heard that. Yeah, and you know that to me that's like one of those. That's like a life lesson, right? Be careful who you step on your way up.
It's true because as she was on her way down, if they had forged some sort of nice friendship or bond or working relationship, I mean, he might have looked out for her.
And by all accounts, you hear that Chris Pine's just a really down to earth guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Pardon my language here, but the line that he says here, "You're a total freaking retard."
Oh yeah, that sticks
Very
out,
90s.
doesn't it?
Yeah, I was like, that does feel like something I probably sadly would have said as a kid.
Oh yeah.
And then now you watch it and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah, it's. I suppose it's just evidence of culturally sort of growth that does stick out. I mean, it should. It's an ugly word, right?
It's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. But I'm like, oh, that feels like something. Yeah, that feels like 25 years ago that would have been like a laugh line or something.
Oh yeah. No.
Did you hear what Dennis Hopper said?
Yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, when we were growing up in the 90s, a lot of this stuff was said very commonly. Mm-hmm. And I mean, yeah, I'm going to embarrass myself. I probably did it a lot too,
Oh, I'm sure I did. Yeah.
Without giving too much thought to it,
Yeah. But that's good. We grow.
We are better people, Brian.
Let's just end it here. Like, yeah.
Like
I'm proud of us.
Invalidated our progress by saying,
right.
I like this here where the thing falls down, and for a second you're like, oh, poor guy. And then they have him say, oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. Yeah. I know it kind of disturbed me at first, but I was like, yeah, he's in hell. Like he's living with those fumes.
Doesn't it feel like they put that line in there specifically to make sure you don't feel bad about Costner just like nuking him?
I had that very thought. Yeah. And this is just spectacle that we will not get ever again.
Yeah.
I mean, the danger and the limitations, right? But this is incredible. Like him leaping through these things and the boat half on fire and all of it's practical. And it's just so, I mean, you just can't help but be wowed. Like, look at that. Those jet skis flying out of those holes with the explosions behind them. Like, it's just, you got to respect it.
What's funny is I can totally imagine watching this movie initially and being like, oh my gosh, the end, it's just like all these explosions stuff is just too much, right?
Yes.
And you watch it now, you're like, oh, look how like small scale this is.
Yeah.
This is Get Out, you know?
I wish people could see what I was looking at as you said that, because it's just like a man on a chain swinging with a machine gun and a car exploding. Like, yeah, it's just like that, small movie, Get Out.
It's like that racism movie,
Well, what I was going to say was, what I thought you were going to say, in the 90s, I would have watched this like, it was cool.
Yeah.
But like now I have a different appreciation for
absolutely.
it because I know this was a lot of work and they wouldn't do this anymore. Yeah, this is so impressive. This whole sequence with this plane. All the ways he sort of stops it and rips its, puts the anchor on it and rips the legs off and then it crashes. It's just so cool.
It is. You can.
This is, by the way, sorry, that does that feel not very heroic?
Not at all.
Where it's like this villain points a gun at him and it clicks, misfires, and then Costner, almost like a Schwarzenegger or like in Stallone and Cobra, just turns around with a shotgun and just blam, like blows him away. Like it feels like a lot of times you go through these strains or these efforts to find a way to give the hero, like he has to extend his hand to save the person anyway, but in this one they're like, no, he just turns around and blows him away.
That does feel like a little artifact of action movies from days of yore, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Of like just the unapologetically killing the villain without thinking twice. Look at this. This shot
this
right
is
here.
Awesome.
Look at that. That is Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
On the zip line.
And it was such a staged shot that we like started the camera on the plane, moving, panned up. Like there's just so many components at play. I mean,
amazing.
It's amazing.
You have to imagine he had some fun doing some of these stunts.
Oh, dude, sign me up.
Right?
I would love to try this. That's great. This is just so inventive. I mean, this feels Indiana Jonesy.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, this is good stuff.
Yeah, Kevin Costner was asked about the movie a couple of years ago, and I like what he said about it. Right? He says, "I'm not sure you know how hard people work on films. I'm not sure you know how beloved the movie is around the world. Being hard on a film is really easy if you don't know the underbelly of what went into it. When you do know the forensics of a movie," and Brian, this sort of speaks to what you were saying, "the participation and discussions and decisions of others that one has to stand in front of, you can't help but see it differently. I know that people might think of Waterworld as a low point for me. It wasn't. It could have had a better, more obvious outcome. The thing I know is that I never had to stand taller for a movie when most were going the other way. The movie, with all its imperfections, was a joy for me, a joy to look back upon and to have participated in."
I love that.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, I love that. I'm glad he sees it that way. He should be proud of this.
And the thing is, the reason I say, like, he doesn't have to bullshit about it is because, again, you see the effort on the screen. Mm-hmm. And I keep coming back to that. Like, it's as he says, like, yeah, there are imperfections or whatever, but I mean, it is a work. It is representative of a vision. I was going to say a singular vision, but
right.
A couple visions.
Yeah.
But it's there,
Yeah. Boom. So yeah, this is again where they cut to the fantabulous.
Yeah, right.
Zoop zabius. I want after all this seriousness. So I had forgotten that I guess that's almost like a rule. When you kill the bad guy, there has to be he comes back for a split second.
The double death.
But he's not. But I don't know. Like the second time didn't play as well for me. I kind of liked that he was hanging by the rope and there it is, Exxon Valdez. But yeah, I kind of liked that. They think they're getting away, but he jumps onto the rope and she gets to help contribute, and then it all kind of worked. But then them all kind of crashing into each other felt silly to me.
Don't ever sitting right at the edge, right? Like obviously,
right.
Brian, I think the problem is the trope of the falling villain only works if the falling villain visibly goes splat.
Oh, I agree. I mean, they could have had something below him to. Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah,
but like, maybe this is okay. I don't know. The first time I watched this, I felt like like them coming together almost reminded me of like Biff and his goons, like crashing into a manure truck or something.
Yeah, right. Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I almost want them to do that here. Watch like this when they see each other. Right? And then explosion is like kind of comically ridiculous. Like it almost feels comedic.
It does seem a little bit tonally out of step with what we've seen thus far.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I mean, whatever. Minor complaint.
Now, that is not a bungee cord.
I thought that too. I was like, dude, he's going to break his back.
Yeah. I was like, does regular rope bounce like that?
Well, then I did think, oh, was it a bungee cord? Because I didn't realize it was.
Oh, it is bungee cord?
That's hilarious. No, well, that's what I'm saying. I just, my mind apologized for the movie.
Oh, God.
Oh, I suppose it was bungee cord and I didn't know. Sorry, movie.
Sorry. Yeah, see, all of this stuff becomes very noticeably composite-y.
Yeah.
And understandable, obviously, but like it felt like visually jarring given how grounded, no pun intended, everything felt before that.
Totally agree. I would say for the most part, because all of those effects look practical and real, I mean, it doesn't look of a certain age.
Right.
But yes, when you do see the limitations of the things they had to do, you're like, oh, right, yeah, this is old.
Like nowadays, that would absolutely be CGI.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's kind of the thing. I mean, if you were to make a movie like this today, it would invariably be, I was going to say cheaper, but no, it would still be expensive, but it would be easier to make. It would be less like risk to life and limb, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be less impressive.
I kind of agree.
Right.
I don't kind of agree. I agree. I mean, I was thinking that, like, whatever last great action film I saw in the theater recently, not even great, let's just say good action film, whatever it was, I don't even know what it was, but I know it probably wasn't as impressive as this movie. It just couldn't be, because it's not the same.
It reminds me, I mean, like, we may have talked about this in the early part of the year. I mean, when we watched Bad Boys for Life,
yeah,
what struck me, I believe that you mentioned this too. I mean, it's just how, like, what a throwback it felt like.
Yep.
Like, oh, they're actually.
And I do want to say, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to sound like some sort of snob and completely dismiss movies these days, because it's like, you could still absolutely make a fantastic action movie, but I think it all has to do with how invested your viewer is in the stakes of it all.
Yeah, I mean, just
right?
to your point, Brian, like you look at Avengers Endgame,
yeah,
and I adore that movie,
right?
But I don't know, your brain makes certain concessions when watching that movie, where you say, well, obviously none of it is real, and you just accept it. You accept it within the world that it creates, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is better than Avengers Endgame, but the visuals, what they achieve with what they have on hand, is what makes you appreciate more everything they were able to accomplish, given the very real limitations, not only of the time, but just of physics.
Yes, well, I was just going to say, I think in Avengers works so well because we care about what they're setting out to achieve, right?
Yeah, right?
But I do remember, I'm having a flashback to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I remember that there was a scene where, like, the ship was crashing through all these things, but it just felt like absolutely no consequence.
Yep.
And no physics and no damage and no whatever. And I remember thinking, like, well, all right, this is just kind of loud, and I'm looking forward to getting back to the characters.
Right. Totally. So these skeletons, are they Enola's parents?
I wasn't clear on that.
Like,
but we see that they have been making maps that are similar to the tattoo on her back. So we assume those are the people that put it on her.
See, like, I find this ending confusing, because it's like, obviously there were people there.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just her parents, but everything is fine here. So why did they feel the need to send her off?
Yeah.
right? And if
To
this is
tell? Well, yeah.
if this is Mount Everest, how long did she float before she ended up like near Colorado?
Yeah. A lot of questions. Well, maybe the sequel would have answered them. I don't know. Yeah.
But we're never going to get Waterworlder.
No. I mean, do you think this is something they would ever consider remaking?
I can't imagine. I mean, there is such a right. There is such a residual like bad will, you know.
Yeah.
I think Universal's happy that they sort of got out the other side of it with their shirt still on their back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they're still cashing out on the stunt show, that it's like gravy at this point, you know.
Yeah.
You take the win.
Yeah.
I remember
This
there was a
is-
whole line of action
yeah.
figures
Oh, really?
from, I believe it was Kenner. Yeah, and it was pretty cool actually. Like they had like these water features where you would like squeeze a bellows and stuff would come out. It was kind of neat. But I mean that stuff was remaindered like inside of 6 months.
Yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine.
You know. I remember there was a comic book series a couple years after this from Acclaim Comics, and Kevin Costner did not give his likeness rights. So they just made the Mariner look like kind of a generic dude.
Why not? You know, I mean, if there's some sort of fandom continuing and you get a couple bucks in your pocket.
Yeah, right? Now, there is... You were discussing the alternate edits. There's what's called the Ulysses cut.
Right.
And that is because in that version, when they arrive at dry land, Helen, Jean Triplehorn, gives Mariner the name Ulysses. Because he doesn't have an...
I thought you were going to say that she gives him the book Ulysses and he doesn't read it either.
Because he's
sorry, okay,
just like
how
us.
Yeah, just like... So wait, what, I'm sorry. Where did she get that name?
So Ulysses is the alternate name for Odysseus.
Oh, okay.
So Odysseus wanders the seas.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Mariner.
Very nice, very nice. So wait, why would they cut that here? I mean, was it part of a bigger sort of thing that was removed, or they just took that detail
I mean,
out?
here's my guess, and I haven't seen the extended version, but if it was more baked into the movie, the idea that he doesn't know who he is and he has no name and identity, like if that was something that weighed down the entire story, then that could serve as sort of a culmination, right?
Right. Yeah,
But
that
we
makes
never
sense.
get the sense that he is in any way, not comfortable in his own skin.
Yeah.
He's just I'm the Mariner. This is my world. This is what I do. Like that's throughout.
Down to him leaving here. I mean, I was a little surprised actually that he left.
Yeah, you recognize the necessity of that from like a franchise perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly the idea that like he's found this family. But I mean, then again, it's like now he knows where this place is. He can come back whenever he wants. So it's also that.
I even thought that he might say that to her. I thought that was really sweet actually when she's like, "Why'd you come for me?" And he's like, "I like you."
Yeah,
I thought that was really nice.
I did like that. It was a nice moment.
But then he could have said like, "I'll be back." Like when? Right. I don't know, but I'll be back or
someday.
Something. But
yeah.
This shot is very impressive too. By the way, thinking of a helicopter, where you start on them right there on that cliff and how it slowly edges up. I mean, looking down right on this sort of cliffside.
Well, and not just that, having to make sure that the entire coastline is clear.
Yeah, yeah.
No civilian traffic, anything like that. I mean,
you have that family from the opening of Lost World.
Yeah, exactly.
God
damn
like,
it.
oh, jeez.
I mean, look at that. That is...
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And Dean Semler.
So I guess also...
the DP.
Oh, sorry, God. Yeah.
Dean Semler being the DP suddenly makes sense because he's very impressive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this movie is. Well, I was just going to point out, I guess, something else that was cut that Kevin Reynolds says he misses a lot was the camera panned up and it revealed that the characters were standing by a sign that said Mount Everest. Like it was very clear.
Which I would have to see it. Like, I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, actually, knowing it exists, I'll get around to it. I'm sure someday I'll watch that longer cut because I am a little curious.
This is I don't know, Brian. This is a fascinating, just artifact of a film. You know.
Yeah.
It's sort of, it exists right in this middle ground between brilliant and forgettable.
Yeah.
It's like right in the middle.
This Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
It's so true though.
I mean, we said it at the top, right? They don't make movies like this anymore, and obviously the reality is, well, the reason they don't is because it's just more financially feasible to make your sequels and your your remakes, and to use a lot of CGI. So all of that stuff, that's those are the tools available now. So of course you should use them. And so I'm not saying one era is better or worse. What I am saying is what that does allow us to do is look back at movies from this time and appreciate them for giving us something that we won't get anymore.
I very well put. Yeah, I would say it is imperfect. However, if you are the type of person who can still watch something like that because you enjoy feasts for your eyeballs, I think this is a worthy feast for your eyeballs.
Well, there we go. I actually think that's a good place to wrap up this discussion.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, I mean, I told a couple people that I was watching this for the podcast, and everyone was like, "Why?" And I gotta tell you, I enjoyed revisiting it, and I certainly enjoyed talking through it with you.
This was an absolute lark. I wanna clarify that I didn't come at this with some deep-seated sense of fandom. It was more like, hey, this movie's 25 years old, and they talked about it a lot back then. You want to just like watch it and see what we can do? That was it was like me rolling the dice.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have doubted that we could end up filling the time and having a really engaging conversation.
Well, I got to say, whenever we discuss doing commentaries and I see a movie's over 2 hours, I go, ugh. I don't know how this is going to go. But no, this was, I love this.
If this was 2.5, it would have been a hard pass. So 2:15, we get like, that's pretty much the line at this point. Yeah, as people know, I mean, occasionally, I think the longest we've done is The Dark Knight, I think.
Oh, that feels right.
Yeah.
Or maybe Dark Knight Rises. Isn't that even longer?
Well, we haven't done that yet, but...
Oh, we haven't?
Not yet. It's coming.
Holy cow. Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow.
Although, Brian, one day, and this day may never come, but I will ask you to do The Godfather with me.
You know what? Honestly, knowing how much you know about that movie and what like a student of that film you are, I would like to listen to that. So I'm very happy to be a part of that.
That is on my that's on the high shelf. We'll get there one day. Okay. But our next commentary track, Brian, this is one of our mutual favorites. It's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah. I would go so far as to say that's a top 5 for me.
There you go. So
I adore that movie. And by the way, we were talking about doing it a year ago, and I reread the shooting draft of the script and like made notes and like nice. Really dug in. And then when we didn't do it, and you were like, "Well, we'll do it next year," I was like, "Oh." And now I cannot believe we are approaching "quote unquote" next year. So I'm very prepared and very excited to do that.
Well, that's a coming right in time for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Which thank goodness Thanksgiving is almost here. I don't know what Thanksgiving will look like this year, but I know we will be looking at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So that's on the way. Yep. We of course have our next regular show coming, where we'll be talking about lots of all the latest news coming out. And I do want to point out now, while it is still fresh, rest in peace, Alex Trebek. We will miss you.
Yeah. Oh, so much sad news. Just all at once this year, and just seeing that, really. I'm glad you said something just to kind of mark that, because I was really sad seeing that news.
It's sad, obviously, not least because he has been just, a guest in so many of our homes going back to when we were kids. But the courage with which he faced one of the most awful diagnoses one can imagine. He lived his life as an example right up to the end. I think that is something remarkable, and it is an example that I think anybody can learn from.
Yeah, and I mentioned to Zachy before we started that like you said, I didn't read it. I listened to it. But his recent memoir, it's called The Answer Is... Reflections on My Life. And I really enjoyed it. And, Jeopardy is kind of woven in and out of my life. And even in the pandemic recently, it's something that was really kind of special to me for a while. And so just with that, and then coupled with listening to this book and sort of spending time with him, I just... Or that's what I was telling Zachy, is like I actually felt like I kind of spent time with him this year, and so just seems like a really good guy. And I think it's worth people's time if they want to check that out.
With that, I'm going to ask you once again, everybody listening, if you like what we're doing, please go to iTunes and leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. If you have any questions or comments for us, you can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com or hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast, and message us there. I'm going to put a pin in this discussion, but we'll come back here next week with our next regular show. And on behalf of my partner, Brian Hall, my name is Zachy Hassan. This has been a Movie Film Commentary Track. Thank you, everybody, for listening.